All right, it says we are live. I'm going to give it just a minute to make sure it's working. And while I do, oh, wow. And there we go. It has been so fast lately, you guys. I feel like it used to be like we go live and then we twiddle our thumbs and wait to make sure it's working. And now it's like you say go live and boom, it's there. If I like that, I mean, I think I like that. It's just kind of different and I'm not used to that. All right, let me get this pulled up on my phone real quick as well, just so that I can watch for comments there one other way. Take all the help I can get. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, depending on what time zone you're in. It's been a few minutes since I've been live with you guys. I know Leah did last week. We had our combined one the week before that. And then I think Leah was before that. I had a lot of external stuff going on last week with classes and stuff. So Leah took over and did last week for me. And even today, I feel like, full disclosure, my brain is a little bit mush. Usually I kind of have an idea of what I want to use. This week, last night, I just kind of was like, Leah, help me, tell me what to use and pick something for me. So I think it's going to come together okay. I think between our Create and Connect event and a few other classes, my brain was just mush. On the bright side, one of the things I love about Pinkfresh Studio product is it does have to work for me. I don't really have to overthink it too much. So I'm not that stressed about it, if that makes sense. So some days I might have been like, oh, I don't think I can do it. But today I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm feeling at the top of my creative game, but I have a feeling the product I have pulled out is going to make my job easy. So, all right, I see lots of people joining in with us here. Let me fix this real quick so I can see everything. All right, there we go. A couple things really quick to go over. I gotta remember these things because, like I said, it's been a little bit of a while. We give away a $15 gift card every one of these lives. If you're new here, the way you enter to do that is just by what everyone's doing already. Leave lots of comments in the chat. Talk back and forth with each other. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have. I do my best to see them. I might miss some of them once I get crafting, but I try and keep an eye out for those as I go along. You'll see the name Pinkfresh Studio in the comments. That is Leah Lawson. She's my partner in crime. She's moderating today. So any comments that I might miss along the way, she does a great job of catching. Usually she knows the answer without even needing me to answer. So if by some chance we both miss them, just leave that comment again. I promise we're not ignoring you. Every now and then that chat just starts flying by really quick. And then one final thing, if you are new here, if this is your first time joining us live, let us know in the comments. I'm going to say a big welcome now. Usually we try and catch those as they go by and just say welcome because we are super happy that you joined us and are taking time out of your day to watch and maybe craft along with us. Let's see, what else? Oh, everything I'm using today, it's released. There's no sneak peeks. It's all linked in the video description. I'm pretty sure I got everything. There might be something I missed along the way, but I'm pretty sure I got everything on there that I'm going to use. So if you have any questions, that's a great resource. Whether you're watching live or on replay, feel free to take advantage of that. And then one final thing that we really love if you do is hitting that little thumbs up button. If you're on a computer, it's somewhere down over here, I think. If you're on a phone, it might be in a different spot. It doesn't necessarily count as an entry for the giveaway, but we really appreciate it. It helps more people find us and join us. And then one other thing I don't think I mentioned, aside from in the chat and everything to be an entry for the giveaway, if you share this video, that is one more entry. I do see one new friend joining us, Laura Knudsen. Welcome. So glad that you're here. And Carol, so there's a couple of new friends. Welcome. All right. And then someone from Bellingham, kind of in my neck of the woods. Hi, Candy. All right. So if you share this video, there's a share button. You can grab that link. You can share it in a message to a friend, a text, on your own social media, or if you're part of a crafty group that you know it's allowed with the rules, feel free to share it there, and then come back and leave a comment. Let us know that you shared, and then that is an additional entry. So sure I'm not missing any comments. Tiffany, I love that. It'll just make you hungry and you'll enjoy that lunch date even more. Okay, And one more I see that just filed by there, Kim, who is welcome, is here for the first time. Welcome. Told you guys I can't talk. I'm going to keep sipping on my tea while we go, but I'm going to go ahead while I get that sip of tea. I'm going to turn my camera around and we'll get started. Okay. Looks like we've got that around. And Dawn, welcome. I see one more new. And then I probably will miss from now on. So we're going to kind of mix and match. Excuse me here. A little bit of, okay, hold on. One more sip of tea here so I can talk. All right, we're going to mix a little bit of old and new. So this is from last week's new release. If you've done some of our events, you might recognize this set. It was part of our holiday event last year. It was included in the kit, but now it's released for general purchase and everyone to get. It's got these two great frames in it. I'm pretty sure we'll be using the big one today. But I also want to show, so you've got just the panel like this, that's all one solid. Then if you use this inner part, you can cut so it's an outer frame. This is also a really just a basic, super fun, simple shape to use on its own. Or maybe you die cut this one and then cut this one as a layer to pop up. Just kind of a fun, essential die set that I think is super fun and you're gonna love. And then this is from, oh, I think January, December, I don't remember. It might have been the December release. It's from a few months ago, but it's this beautiful, you know, Pinkfresh knows how to do florals. So it's this beautiful floral set. And then we've got the coordinating die, which includes the die for these two sentiments, and then a 7-piece layering stencil. So we're gonna really go to town and enjoy all those colors and do lots of stenciling today. And I see one more new. Kathy is new. Welcome and thank you for subscribing and hitting those like buttons. All right, I'm going to set this aside and we're going to start by heat embossing this beautiful floral image. I'm just going to set the rest of these out of the way for now, and we'll start with our stamp set. January release. Leah just answered that. I knew it wasn't that long ago. It was fairly new. I just knew it wasn't brand new, you know? This is also one of those sets where even the layering stencils on their own look beautiful. I have a few cards that I've made with this set. I'm kind of excited about the color palette I grabbed this morning. It's kind of a combo I haven't really mixed all together. So you'll be right along with me having fun figuring out how it goes. All right, let's see here. I'm going to make sure I have that kind of centered on there. Pick that up with the lid of the Misty. I run my powder tool over here and make sure this is just for anti-static. It makes sure that when I stamp, that when I put the embossing powder on, it's not going to stick anywhere but on my stamped image. I'm going to use, so I just got this recently and I have only used it once. I was enabled by Leah. It's the Wow Gold Pearl embossing powder. I used it the one time and loved it. And then when Leah and I did our combined live, I was going to use it, you know, great minds thinking alike. And Leah already had a plan that was kind of heavily reliant on that embossing color. So today I kind of decided, ooh, you know what? I can use that one. I don't have to worry about interfering with us both using, I mean, we could have both used it, but I figured it was better to show two different colors. All right. I like to stamp a couple times, at least 2 to 3 times when I'm using clear embossing ink. It's hard to see on the paper. So that way you just make really sure that you've got a really good image, an impression, and you've got all those details on there. Now I can see it pretty good on there. So I'm pretty sure we're set. I'm just going to set that aside as is for now. I'll clean that off in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and sprinkle that embossing powder on and do our heat setting. So that gold pearl, it's just a really soft, creamy, pale yellow gold. I don't know how to describe it, but it's different than my other gold. So it's kind of fun. Wow, that worked perfect. We've got a great coverage and good inking. So I'm gonna try not to spill this all over my desk. Put the extra back in my container there. I'm just really careful cleaning up embossing powder. I'm prone to like tipping things over and really making a mess. All right, and now it's going to get probably muted for a minute while I go ahead and heat set this. Okay, I think we got that all. You know, Leah has said before that the camera just doesn't do an adequate job of capturing the beauty of that gold pearl embossing powder. But it's so soft and lovely. It's almost like an iridescent creamy gold. Like I said, I really don't know how to describe it, but it's really pretty and I love it. So, all right, now that we've got that done, I think well, you know what? I have a little bit. I got this handy dandy little vacuum recently, and I'm going to vacuum up that embossing powder because it drives me bonkers. All right, that's something that I got the lowdown on from Yasmin, and I am always just driving nuts by embossing powder on my desk. And I saw her using that and went, I need me one of those. So makes me so happy to just not have that gritty embossing powder mess on my desk. So, all right, let's pull out our stencils and we're just going to kind of slowly work our way through these. Hope Smith, the gold pearl, I bought mine on Amazon. That was the only spot I could find it. I think when I was looking, Simon Says was out of stock, but I see Lee is kind of answering that, so I'll let her take over that one. All right, let's start through. We're going to start with stencil 1. I'm going to do my usual tape my stencil to my paper routine. And this first layer just does these 2 little florals, or part of them anyway, tucked in over here. And I'm going to start with the ever favorite Coral Reef for this one. As I'm looking at this, I'm like, wonder if I should have used that for the bigger ones. But you know what? I'm gonna stick with the order that I had planned, and I'm gonna just knit to that. And I pull out my blending brush. Its restock of these is coming. It'll be here the middle of this month. I know everyone was really bummed out with how fast those sold out, and I had a feeling we were underestimating, but it even blew me away how much more quickly they went than I expected to. All right, so I'm going to use the mini blending brushes, Coral Reef, and we're just going to ink blend onto these florals. And I'm really just kind of picking the area where they're kind of tucked under the other flowers and hitting my deeper shading there, and then fading off to the softer color. Because these little blending brushes make it so easy to do that. Okay, with my dry cloth. Leah's little string there, Coral Reef Forever. We all know. All right, so let's pull off that first stencil. And there we've got some beautiful color on there. We're going to move right on to the next one. And just line it up here with that upper greenery and then these little ones down here. This one actually lines up really easy if you just catch these little ones down there and that up there. And for this color, this layer, we're going to do peach fuzz. Teresa says she could have told us we weren't ordering enough. And you know, it's a funny thing figuring out stock, because sometimes we look and think that's going to be such a big seller, everyone's going to want it. Laura, this is the 1/2 inch brush. And then sometimes those things just sit there and you just never know. So I knew everyone was pretty excited about them, but sometimes you just can't tell until they come in. Fortunately, we have 2 restock orders. So the first one will be here in the middle of March. The next one will be here at the end of March. So sign up for restock notifications. That'll be the best way for you to get a notification as soon as they restock. And then if they sell out, blow us away again and sell out quickly, we already will have more on the way. So we're trying to be prepared this time around and get ahead of the game. All right, blending those little areas pretty dark, and then really trying to hit the one side of these pretty dark, because peach fuzz is a pretty soft color. Oh, Deb, that makes us so happy. I often feel the same way. I feel like I'm so spoiled by Pinkfresh that I use other, you know, not all, some of them work, but there's so many that it's just takes so much more work than Pinkfresh ones. And I love that you feel that way. All right, here's that second layer coming together on there. Okay, on to stencil number 3. I'm just going through these, popping through right in order today. I'm not mixing anything up, just keeping it simple. All right, I'm going to deviate. I'm not going to do, you would think passion fruit would be the next color, but we're going to skip over to sparkling rose. I have no idea if I'm going to be happy I did that or not, but you know what? I think the pinks and the reds can kind of, especially coral reef and sparkling rose, could play together really well. All right, I think I used bubble gum last, so I'm trying to make sure I have my brush really well cleaned off here before I move on to sparkling rose. All right, let's go for this. Let's go ahead and this is the one I'm most curious about, because coral reef was kind of part of that layer. And then doing sparkling rose all on the same. I'm kind of curious to see how that one's gonna play together. I tell you what, guys, when life is busy and stressful, am I wrong, or is ink blending just one of the most therapeutic things in the world? I absolutely love that. I feel like when life gets stressful, pull out your ink blending tools and inks and some stencils, and you just can't go wrong. All right, going really deep there with that color to kind of get some pop to that. Set of mini inks for Christmas, Glenda. That's a great Christmas gift. All right, here we go. Yeah, that works. I think I almost would have liked to mask that one off and keep that one just one or the other ink colors on just that color, but I think it works. I think especially once we get the other layer on, I think I'm gonna probably like that even more. All right, next layer starts off. Carol, I absolutely love using bubble wrap for die cutting. Yes, that is something I do whenever it's intricate or like a cover plate that has a lot of details. I won't do it on this, but I will quickly, when I get to die cutting this, remind me, and I'll just quickly talk about the sandwich that I use for that, if that's helpful. So do remind me, and I can just quickly show you where I would put it on there. All right. I'm going to start off with fresh pear for this one. Pull back to I have all my ink brushes labeled in pastels, like my very lightest colors, and then all the medium and dark shades moving up. So I'm pulling out, whenever I use my lightest shade of ink, I pull out that set. Okay, just making sure I'm not missing any comments there. We're going to go in nice and heavy there with the pear, because this is a nice soft color. We're going to build up to some deeper shades after this. So especially on some of those little detail areas. Not blending too soft because I want it to really pop in there and show that green. I am trying to kind of blend the deepest at the base of most of these areas and then blend out to a softer shade. So keeping it concentrated at the base, kind of for some natural shading. I think Leah might have just linked up to the live that I did that on. You'll see me do that again anytime I pull out any kind of an intricate die. That's just kind of my go-to now. I think I might even have converted Leah over on that one. So, all right, look at that fresh pear on there. All right, so yes, the bubble mailer, it was in the Card Making Basics. Thank you, Leah. That's a great resource for it. All right, next layer of the greenery. I'm gonna pop this one on here and just wiggle it around, get it in place. And we're gonna swap over to a blue and we're gonna do Ocean Breeze on this one now. Other pastel blending brushes. You tell Ocean Breeze is another favorite of mine, right up with a right up with Coral Reef. I feel like Ocean Breeze and Coral Reef are just made to go together. Love Leah. She resisted change, but I know I love it way better than using a metal shim, because I feel like the metal shim, while it works, it puts so much more stress on my die cutting machine. So I loved using the bubble mailer. I just felt like it was easier. And the bonus is the little kid in me, tell me I'm not the only one, that always got obsessive glee out of popping bubble wrap. Really loves the sound it makes while it goes through my die cut machine. So there's that too. All right, same as before, deepest, blending it nice and dark at the base and also hitting those berries over there pretty well, and then softly blending it out as I get to the outer edges. Pat is asking about if our stencils have color suggestions. They don't for each stencil layer, just because there's so many infinite combinations. Ah, that's so fun. But if you look on the back of the packaging, there's always a great example of how it goes together. So I often use that as a reference. So I can look at the stencil layer and go, oh, okay, this one's going to hit all of those spots. So as I pick my colors, I can kind of choose it that way. I love that, Leah. That's funny. All right. Final stencil layer going on here. This is going to be our deepest layer. So I'm going to just take my time, make sure I have that lined up just right. And we're going to pull out Meadow for this one. So I'm literally like, Fresh Pear was from one ink family. Ocean Breeze obviously was from another, and Meadow is from our other green ink family. So I'm just going to bounce in all over the place in colors today. I think the one final layer that we're putting on the florals is the only one that is a repeat of any ink family. Otherwise, they're all individual ink families, which is kind of funny. So, oh, Kathy, it didn't work. Ah, I don't know what die cut machine you're using. I wonder if it makes a difference. I've used it on all of the ones I have, but I know, as I say, I feel like I have tons of bubble mailers. Okay, sorry, I used Evergreen last on this, so same as before. I'm just kind of trying to make sure I have my brush cleaned off really well before I start blending with Meadow. Get all that excess ink off. part of the downsides of using your ink brush blending for multiple colors. You just have to kind of take a minute to make sure it's clean before you move on, especially if you've used that really dark shade. Okay, this one I'm going to blend a little bit softer just because it is a pretty deep color. I want that depth and that shading, but I don't want to go too crazy on this one because it is, most of the others are a little more on the pastel side. So I think it's going to be fun putting meadow over aquamarine. I don't think I've done that before. Sorry, just making sure I don't miss all the comments. Springy, yes, Colleen. I feel like we're starting to get spring weather here again in Washington. And it's still cold at night, but we've had some days where, it's in the 50s and you feel like you can just go for a walk and get outside again, which is lovely. So I think that's why I'm feeling the spring colors for this one. Okay. Almost done here, just getting in all those nooks and crannies. Make sure we've got the deepest color there at the base for fun. So I'm going a little darker there. And then on the tops of those berries, those are really tiny areas. So I kept that one pretty deep as well. Okay, clean that off a little bit. We are almost done. So that's another magic layer reveal there. Can you guys see how pretty and soft that heat embossing is? I hope so. I hope it shows. Dry cloth, yes. I didn't see who asked that, but yes, that is totally a dry cloth that I used on there. All right. This last stencil is the little detail layers on the flowers. So my best advice on this one is especially to line up right down here, the centers of the flowers. And then the rest, if you just kind of jiggle it into place so that it's all the way inside all of the flowers, you're going to be good and everything else is going to match up. All right. Final ink color, I decided to go with Apricot. And I could mask and do different on each of the flowers, but I think Apricot obviously will go great on Peach Fuzz. I think it's going to go great on the Coral Reef, and I think it'll really work on Sparkling Rose. So I just wanted to do one color for that. So I guess we'll see how this goes. Okay, and again, I used persimmon on this brush, so I have to just give me a minute to clean this brush off on this one now too. Like I said, this is mostly how I clean my brushes, just a little bit of a dry microfiber cloth and lots of swirling around. Sometimes if you're doing like a little bit of a background or whatever, that's also a really fun way to clean your stencils. I've pulled like a background stencil and just kind of swirl whatever residual ink, and it makes a really soft pastel. You're not wasting your ink, and you make sure that those brushes are nice and clean. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this goes for the layer on all of these. I love mixing and matching colors, so this is kind of like the brave, let's just go for it and see what happens moment. These are all complementary. I guess, is complementary the right word? They all go well together, so none of them are going to make an ugly color. So you can't really go too wrong here. I think the layering is just going to work well because of that. Get really deep in here since those are the center of those flowers and it's a really tiny little area. All right. Moment of truth. See what we think. Wipe this off a little bit, put my ink away there. And we'll find out if Heather made the right choice or not. Oh, I like it. I like it. I think it works. Let me hold that up. Just get this out of the way. I'll clean those off later, but let me pull that up a little closer. Poor Leah. You know what? Here in Washington, we call it fake spring. Like we'll have this little window of nice weather where it feels like spring and you get all excited, and then it gets cold and nasty again. So I'm trying not to get too excited about it. But look how pretty those florals are, you guys. Ugh, I love it. That's such a fun, different new color combo for me, and I'm really happy with how that came out. Phew, okay, now I can relax because I know that we've got a good stenciled layered floral. I feel like that orange almost made like a really tropical feel to this all of a sudden. Like it was looking really bright and zingy, and now it looks like tropical spring. All right, let's pull out those coordinating dyes here real quick. We're probably going to have to heat in Boss or I haven't decided yet, but we need a sentiment on here, but we'll deal with that in a little bit once we figure out what we're going to do with the rest of this, because yes, I am totally winging this today. All right, let's line up this dye, get it all set in place. Just taking my time to make sure it's all lined up all the way around. Okay. I'm going to go die cut this off camera and I will be right back. Okay. Pop this out of here. I love this die that cuts some of those little intricate inset pieces. So it gives that little bit of detail that just makes it even prettier. Put this away real quick. Oh, you know what? There's a couple little pieces I'm just going to have to get out of there. Let me see if they'll pop out if I... No, some of them did. Just have to clean those out because otherwise I'll put it away and I'll forget about... Pop that one out. Okay. Deal with the... Oh, there's that one other one there. I forgot. I think that was just a little rip from the edge of the paper. Okay. Cleaned up, good enough for now. And we've got our beautiful floral. Go ahead and pull out our Art Deco frame. And this is where I'll show real quick I won't do the bubble wrap on this because I really don't need it on my machine. I'm going to pull out that largest frame, center that on this cardstock. The end of my one package here, it's tonic honey gold, which is just the perfect match for that honey gold embossing powder. I'm going to go ahead and tape this in place here and die cut that outer frame. But let me show you real quick here. If I was going to include the bubble wrap, this is just, I just take bubble mailers now and I cut them all down, single layer, and the Amazon ones, the blue, those work fine. Pretty much any bubble mailer. But all you do is you set, like I would normally cut down like this, I just set the bubble wrap under. So the die is cutting through whatever cardstock you're cutting and into the bubble mailer. Like I said, I don't need it on this one, so I'm going to save it for the ones that need it. And I'm going to just pop over and die cut this real quick on my machine. There's that piece die cut. I want this to be a frame, so I'm going to go ahead and cut out. I know Leah does them both together. For some reason, I have a hard time doing them together. So I'm going to do that center frame as a separate run through my die cut machine. I just feel like I have problems with them shifting if I do them together. And I think Leah feels the other way, that she has better luck with them separate. So we both do what works, right? All right, I'll be right back. All right. I don't know what the picker, yes, the little poking tool. This was the swag from our event the end of February. It will be available somewhat soonish. I don't remember the exact date, but it will be available for purchase soon. So, okay, now I've got this outer frame. I'm just going to pop the little chads out of the openings because I want to go ahead and make use of that detail. So I'm going to pop this out, way around. Hard time getting hold of some of those. There we go. Yes, Carol, I know. I wish I'd come across that tip back when we did that event. That would have been a very helpful thing. Oh, Tabitha, I'm so glad. Okay. Lori Spitzer, what brand? I don't know what brand you were asking about. Something. If I missed it, I'll leave that alone and let that one pop up again. Okay, now we have this beautiful frame. We've got our beautiful florals here. I thought about a colored card base, but I think with all of our color and our gold, I'm just going to stick with a basic white card base. The only thing I'm undecided on, do I want to cut my flowers and kind of tuck them? Kind of tempted to do that. Cut them down and kind of use parts of them. I'm undecided though. I did that there and then popped a little bit at the top there. That could work. I'm just trying to picture this here. I'm going to decide, or do I want to grab a texture dye? I didn't put one on my list, but I might want to add some texture to the background as well. That's something else I'm debating on. And there you see that it's not on my supply list. I think I'm liking that kind of tucked in there like that. So if I do that, we can cut the extra. I know it's scary, but I really think I'll grab, do I have a pencil? It'd be really helpful if I have a pencil. Okay, let me just pencil in here. Just going to put a tiny, tiny pencil tick marks. Okay, then I can cut that off on those spots. Do those show? Okay. I don't think one of those shows, so I need to, I got it on hard at the places there, but wiggle that back around in there and get it in place so that I can. Okay, and then you go over there. Sorry, bear with me here while I figure out what I'm doing. There we go. Now I can see that pencil mark because I want to cut that pretty specifically so I can use the rest of it at the top there. And then I should be able to gently erase those pencil marks and make them go away if they show. All right, moment of truth. The cut moment. I'm just going to take that little tiny bit out. And then this one, I don't want to cut that top leaf, so I'm going to be really careful and just come in there. I think that's close enough. Okay. All right, I'm sure I missed a ton of comments there. So if anyone asked anything pressing, just ask me again. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to have to worry about erasing that because I'm just going to ever so slightly tuck those trimmed parts right behind that frame. So that's going to work perfect there to hide those. Let's get that over there. Oh, that's going to be pretty. Okay, and then this one will be pretty easy. Tuck in. How do we want to do this? Oh, you know what? I kind of like it framing that side there like that. And then I've got one little tiny other one that I can just tuck up. Okay. That wasn't even what I planned at first, but I know it's so scary to cut out a floral, but oh my goodness. Doesn't that just change the whole look of that floral? So fun. All right. And I absolutely, like I said, I totally planned on that coming out of the top and this on the bottom, but that really just works perfect there. Okay. Then we just need to pick our sentiment. And I really think I want to use this little, I mean, that today's special is fun, but I think I want to use that enjoy this joyful moment. I think I can kind of just tuck that. Yeah. Okay. I could use some texture on the background, but I almost think I don't really need any more on this, honestly. Okay. And I think I'm going to keep that sentiment in black. It would be really pretty heat embossed in gold, but I really think that it doesn't really need the added gold. I think it's going to make that sentiment pop a little more if we do it in black. Okay. And then I'll debate on if I'm going to add a little texture to the background there. I'm still kind of torn on that one. So we might just do that. I'll put this away real quick. And I love chopping flowers too. I do it all the time for cards, but I'm always surprised, not always, but often surprised when I cut them that sometimes I have one plan and it ends up working totally different than I thought. Let's get that sentiment stamped. If I change my mind, I can always still heat emboss it in gold, but I'm going to start with it in black and see what happens. Using my little ink cube, stamping nice and gently with my stamp press. Make sure I have a really good impression on there. I'm going to go for the full 3 times there. All right. I do think that's going to be perfect on there. Okay, clean off stamp. And I mix and match my sentiments. I know I just saw Kathy P was wondering. I often use black just because it's so crisp. If I was doing a little secondary sentiment, I think I honestly would have done this in the gold and then added the secondary one in black. I just felt like it was kind of working doing it this way on this one. So let's go ahead and grab the dies. I think that's the right one for, oops, yep, the right one for that. Let's go ahead and die cut that. Probably gonna, oh, what I missed there? Okay, I missed a comment about Donna Tansen. I have no idea what's going on, but you can just second Leah's comment there. All right, I will be right back. I'm going to die cut this and return. And because this one is a very dainty little detailed sentiment, I'm going to go ahead and die cut this a couple more times. I should have done that in advance, but I didn't. And then we'll just keep using this little scrap and we'll cut it yet one more time. I think 3 layers should be enough. Be right back one last time. Seeing lots, I think I see. So Donna, just sending my sympathy as well. I will be praying for you. That's hard. So great that we have this community where we can support and love on each other. Okay. Almost done here. All the little scraps off there. Let's poke those. I guess there's only one spot where I really have the chat in there still. I just need to layer these up. Let me really quickly grab my background plates because I think I might add some texture back there. I'm still just deciding, but I think what I'll do is I'll just die cut it and inset it in there so it's not on the whole card front. I'm feeling the floral tiles. Let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to go ahead and just run that through my die cut machine and then we'll just trim out a panel to fit in there. And I hope that's in stock. Leah can double check that one, make sure. All right. So floral tiles, that's the one that I used, and that's not linked in the video description because it was a kind of a spur of the moment add-on here. So I believe it's in stock. And if not, honestly, anything would work here. I just kind of grabbed something out that I haven't used much. And I'm going to die cut that center panel. That way I can pop it, inset it in there, and it'll just be the perfect size. And then even that outer frame, I can save and use that for another card. So I'm not going to toss that. We save all of these things. Perfect. Okay, I was pretty sure it was all of them were in stock. I think I looked recently and seen. Okay, so now this can pop in there. Let's just pull this off. That'll fit in the middle. And yes, I really like that added bit of texture. That's going to be good. Okay, let's pull this out. Let's get this popped up with a little bit of foam. All the little dusty bits off my die. Grab my handy dandy foam strips. And I'm going to grab these in twos so that I can get them put solidly enough on the background. I could just trim down strips of foam adhesive, but I didn't. Just feeling lazy if we're being honest. So, and these foam strips are so much easier. And I'm not going too close to the center because I want to be able to tack my florals a little bit under there. And then you might notice I'm also trimming where I'm placing them so that I don't put any foam adhesive where those little peekaboo holes are because I don't want to ruin those. I do that all the time, Leah. I grab them in pairs. So much easier than one at a time. Don't you love, there's even sometimes the littlest moments. I'll see someone do something and then I'm like, you do it that way? Why did I never think of that? That's why I love these. Leah and I both either enable each other, gold pearl embossing powder, or show each other a new little trick that we didn't know. And then so often you guys say something that I'm like, huh, never even thought about that. And I'm always wowed by those as well. All right, let's get this lined up, make sure we're on here even and that that's clean. All right, I'm gonna focus here for a second, get that on there straight. Okay, I think we're good. And then let's just nestle this one down in there. I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue for that. Funny, Leah. We don't have any fun at all. So can I really like tease you guys and be mean, because Leah and I are working on our projects for our March release already. We have to get on those so far ahead. And so today our goal is to work on those. So we're going to Zoom and play and craft together and just have fun working with those. And before you know it, we'll be showing you guys all of those cards that we make. All right. Liquid glue, got that tucked in there. Goodness, look at just how elegant even that looks. I mean, we are 100% adding our florals, but can you imagine just like a really elegant note card frame on there? I think that would just be, if you needed to make a bunch of thank you notes, that's fairly simple, a little bit of die cutting, but not too much work. And you could have a really classy card to send out. But let's get our florals tucked in there right where we have planned. So I'm going to add, let's see, how do I want to do this? Kind of curling up the edges there. I think I'm just going to use liquid glue and kind of tuck them under here and leave a good bit of them floating free, especially since it's going to kind of pull up on the frame to help build that dimension a little bit. So just do that. You know, write Zoom crafty sessions as work. It doesn't get much better than that. Don't get me wrong. There are days where there is a lot of work and we are tired and worn out, but we also have a lot of fun. And I'm very grateful to be able to get to do what I do as a job. Sherry, I guarantee you there's lots of laughing, lots of little crafty mishaps, but we also have lots of fun. It's basically like watching one of our combined lives, only less organized, probably. Okay, let's get that last one tucked under there. Just gonna move it up as far as I can under there, so it gets up there. That glued in place. Look at all that dimension, you guys, by curling up those leaves a little bit. Okay, and then this one, I'm gonna wait to put this one in. Let's get our sentiment on there and then decide how to snuggle that last little piece on there. Layer these up together, and then there's only the bling to finish off. Didn't I tell you guys, I mean, I was feeling that creative slump today. And I told you that Pinkfresh sets wouldn't let me down and I would come up with something that would be amazing even if I wasn't feeling it. And this might be my favorite card in a really long time. So just saying, Pinkfresh makes it easy, which is kind of nice. I know I'm going to probably still pop this up with foam, but I wanted to make it a nice, sturdy, stacked up embellishment before I did that. Slide those. Love liquid glue and that you get a few minutes of time to. Okay, we're going to pop that right there, I think. Let's kind of make sure that we like where that, yeah, that needs to slide over there to be the perfect fit there. Totally frame that sentiment just right. It a little more over. Get it just in the right spot, you know? Okay, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of foam on the top and bottom there. I've got some little scraps, so those will fit on there perfect. One of those extra pieces. And I will update that cover plate die is the only thing I used that wasn't planned and prepared. All right, tuck that sentiment in there. And then you all know what we need to do to finish, right? And yes, I totally agree. I could have done that in gold, but I feel like that sentiment would have just disappeared in there. All right. I put lots of bling options on the thing because I wasn't sure. And I wasn't sure about the green, but nope, I don't think Magic Potion green is what I want on there. Sparkle and Shine would work, of course. And actually, I probably am going to go with Pixie Dust. I'm feeling that maybe. I don't know. That's not too bad either. Some of the colors there on Enchanted Forest. I'm just going to get a little bit of all of those colors out and then make my mind. Just a bit of bling. We won't go too crazy today, but got to get a little bit on there, right? And I have 3 of these lovely little grass sprays because I often do what we're doing here and need more than one color. Okay. Pull out that embellishment wand and let's see where we want to put these. I'm kind of pondering the centers of the flowers, but let's see. I love the multiple colors in here and how you get some really great shading options. You know what? I don't think I love those on the center of the flowers. I think I like those just as they are. I think I'm just going to tuck some little trios of the flowers, or I mean of the bling, kind of in these little areas. Let's do one of the shine and then one more little. Yeah, I think that'll work there. Just 2 little trios of 3 to kind of frame that sentiment. I think that's all that needs. Right, getting serious. That's a good way of saying it. I mean, with these ombre glitter drops, I feel like they're just so yummy. I want to put all of them on all the things. Can't just settle for one, although it's ironic because each one has multiple colors in there. All right, let's just tuck those in and then we're going to finish pretty much right on time. So glue those down and then I'll let Leah let me know when she has a winner picked. We'll announce that and I'll flip the camera around and say goodbye to you guys. Nothing like finishing a pretty card that when you thought you weren't going to be able to make you kind of all inspired, not expired. There's the tired brain coming out. Inspired to pull out all the things in craft, which is good because that's what I need to do today. All right, there we go. So lush and gold and elegant. And those florals just look like an entirely different set when you cut them up like that. They look so pretty just on their own, but you cut them up and it's like a whole new thing. All right, I'm going to flip the camera around there. Watch for Leah to announce the winner, and then I'll let you guys go and enjoy your day. Thank you again for joining me and hanging out with me. If you guys have some of these sets and you ever pull them out and just are inspired to create something or use the same colors, tag me if you post them on social media. My Instagram is Houses Built of Cards. Tag me because I always love to see those. So, sometimes people do that. Okay, today's winner is Tabitha McKenzie. Congratulations. The info is all in there. To claim your prize, email Leah at pinkfreshstudio.com. Her name is just spelled L-E-A. Give her 2 to 3 business days to get back to you and have fun shopping. Sheila, I didn't know what I was going to do. I know. I think it's just practice and lots of time. So, thank you, everybody. All right. Hopefully you have some sunshine to enjoy, or in Leah's case, some new snow to enjoy. I'm going to open my windows up. I had them closed because it was way too bright and sunny on my desk, but I'm going to soak in that sunshine now. And I will see you guys all again soon. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you on Thursday for Scrapbook Live with Natalie. Bye.